like, I met a guy who right off the bat was like, I like when my girl cheats on me. And I was like, ooh, this is interesting. And I'm always had an open mind to this stuff and whatnot. So I was like, let's try it. It is cool. And in my opinion, it brings us closer together because I'm out and he wanted to be like shocked with the video. He wanted to be like at work and we send him a video of me having sex with someone else and just like be surprised with it. That's how, but he didn't want to like sit there and be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like and watch it. We did go to sex parties where we were doing things with other people in the same room, but he didn't want to sit there and be embarrassed.
Yeah.
He wanted just me to send him a video or tell him the story about it. And after dating him, I've learned that there's levels to this.
Yes.
When I now have that same kink, but my kink comes from a place of I love this person so much that I enjoy seeing them get pleasure.
Well, I don't think that's cuckolding though. If you're a woman watching another woman with your man, I feel like that's a little different. Specifically because, well, I mean, I can go into the evolutionary reasons behind it, but like it's interesting that you say that. That isn't what's controversial though, Jen, because there's a lot of people who are into cuckolding. What's controversial is that you think deep down every man would be, or most men would be into cuckolding, but society sort of like programs it out of us.
I don't know if I would say most. Yeah. I would just say more.
More.
Would be.
Yeah.
Yes, because religious programming, because societal programming, because of these things that are wired that we have to kind of unlearn. I know you believe it's factual and evolutionary based. I believe it's more our programming and like reprogramming how we think and unlearning some things. And yes, I do think that more men would be into it if it wasn't so like, if cuck wasn't so stigmatized, you know?
You brought up specific stigmas about like homosexuality and stuff like that. Can you go into that? You thought that was some of the things. And then also about the stigmas about as far as the women being involved in the lifestyle and how they would come off as being promiscuous. Can you go over those stigmas?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean as far as homosexuality?
Well, you brought up before when we were talking, I was in Miami one time and I was sitting there with this girl and I brought you up and we started texting. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah.
And,
we got in a fight.
And we got in a big fight about this. And that's when we started talking about like how, because I kind of understood where you were coming from, was the idea that part of the stigma of you watching another man have sex with your girl was that you would be labeled by society as homosexual. And that was part of the stigma.
Well, that's what you argued, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't argue that. Well, my argument was, I had two arguments. My first argument was there's nothing wrong if somebody's homosexual. That was my first argument.
Yeah,
the second argument was that that's not essentially what I believe, but I thought that was 3 standard deviations outside the norm.
So
that was my point.
I do think that most men are afraid to, join in orgies or have another man with their dick out in the same room because they believe that means that they're gay, and that's just not the truth. It actually takes a man who's very secure in their sexuality to be able to be in the same room and have these experiences and it still be fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I mean, the fact that you believe that people are a little gay, that's what made me mad.
I didn't believe that they were gay. That's where we got into. We started talking about the stigma. So again, I think where the misunderstanding was, because I remember we were texting for a while before I called you. The misunderstanding was that my point was not that it was good or bad. I don't think it's good or bad. What I thought was that it didn't make sense evolutionarily for me to watch my girlfriend have sex with another dude. Yeah. That was the point I was trying to make. Do I think there's an adrenaline rush? Fuck yes. But the adrenaline rush, in a lot of cases, like 88% of murders, not 88, like I think I got that stat wrong. It's like 78% of murders are men killing other men over women. So the thing is, like, my argument was, because you had never had the like full 1100 testosterone male experience, and like, but you've seen violence that men would be able to commit towards other men, and then sort of extrapolating that to more men want to watch their partners have sex with women. And my whole thing was, every fiber of my being said, no, Jen, that is not true. Now, I'm not. That's why I'm so fascinated and why I love having this discussion. Yeah. And everyone I know wants to hear you talk about this. The belief that you think more men would be into this.
1000%.
Right? Well, now let me ask you something. The specific, because this is the word you said to me. You said like you have to do the work, and you felt like it was an evolved manner for men to be able to accept watching other women have sex with their men.
I do. I feel like just like you think it's evolutionary, or it is evolutionary that men act a certain way, it's the same thing. You can evolve, right? Evolution is evolving. So if you want to evolve in that direction, you can do the work and like reprogram your brain in a way that's like, oh, I'm not gay if I'm in the same room as someone who's having sex, a guy that's having sex. Like, there's dicks out everywhere, and I'm a man, and I'm fine with that. Like, you can and the people in the lifestyle are actually just so open-minded, and so you get close to these people so fast, obviously, because you're all fucking each other.
You get close to them, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.